to his punches. You've seen it.
Yeah,
You
would
know,
you guys do a 10 pound rehydration class to make the fight happen?
well, if here's a possibility, and this is the truth. This is what we talked about 2 weeks ago when I saw my son. You know, at 151, like last week, sometime. I was like, man, you're not too far off from the weight that you need to be in, 147. I said, so we're a little bit too ahead of ourselves. Gotta just come up a little bit, and just play it right, and which we're doing right now. But another thing came to mind was, man, we might even go down to 142 if possible.
Really?
Yeah, without rehydration. This is strictly 140. Because if Ryan's already there, I mean, our strength and conditioning coach will lock it in. Ryan will lock it in, and we're back to 140. Solid. But that's a strong possibility. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. And we talked about that. Yeah, yeah. And I mean this. I mean this 100% sincerely. That we could make 140. Forget about that and forget about the Rolly because I'm telling you, that was not Ryan. This is Ryan. This is Ryan. You're going to see Ryan. This is going to be Ryan. And you're going to say, man, he looks good. His weight is good. And his strength is unbelievable.
Right. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So, you just heard father and trainer of Mexican superstar title contender King Ryan Garcia, who has a fight coming up next weekend, February 21st, as Ryan Garcia is attempting to become a world champion for the first time in his career. He's 24 wins, 2 losses, no draw, 20 wins by way of knockout. Once in his career, he was knocked out. He's 27 years of age. He's going to face off against the WBC welterweight 147-pound champion, Mexican star boxer Mario Barrios, who is 29 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 18 wins by way of knockout. Once in his career, he was knocked out. And they both was knocked out by the same person, Gervonta Tank Davis. With that said, this is Ryan Garcia's second fight at 147 pounds. Ryan Garcia, he fought against Rolando Rolly Romero. That was back in May of 2025. He lost a unanimous decision, shockingly. Prior to that, he was out the ring for a year. Prior to that, he had to fight with Devin Haney. We all know what took place in that fight, where he dropped Devin Haney 3 times. He won the fight. Then he got suspended, tested positive for a banned substance. Fight got overturned. Ryan Garcia has been on a downward spiral since he lost to Gervonta Tank Davis. He had the 1 win against Oscar Duarte, okay? So just take this into consideration. Ryan Garcia has not won a fight since he beat Oscar Duarte years ago, okay? Nonetheless, his father, Henry Garcia, is now stating that this fight at 147 against Mario Barrios, and then the fight that everybody, the world wants to see, is him rematch Devin Haney, who Devin Haney is at 147 and has a belt after he beat the best welterweight in the world in Brian Norman Jr. for the WBO title, dropping Brian Norman. He's the WBO champion. If Ryan Garcia wins, they could rectify their past. They have history in the amateurs, history in the pros, unification bout. But no, instead, Henry Garcia is saying that they would prefer, because as you heard him say, 2 weeks out from his fight, on February the 7th, he's saying that Ryan Garcia was 151 pounds, which means 2 weeks he could drop 11 pounds if he was focusing on making 140. And he would prefer his son to drop this pounds and go down to 140 with no rehydration clause and fight another first ballot Hall of Famer, 4-division world champion, superstar boxer, Shakur Stevenson, right? Shakur Stevenson dominated Teofimo Lopez in his last fight and etched himself in history of the sport because he's a 4 division champion. He's Olympic silver medalist, a unified super featherweight. He will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he's top 5 pound for pound. He's 25 wins, no loss, no draw, 11 wins by way of knockout. That was his first fight at 140 pounds. And so they're saying that they'll drop back down to 140, fight Shakur Stevenson as long as there's no rehydration clause. And then he says, even if there was a rehydration clause, Ryan won't rehydrate 7 to 8 pounds. Shout out to Mill City Boxing. You can see this interview in its totality on Mill City Boxing, where he goes in even further in depth. Shakur responds to this immediately and says, I'm down, right? The problem is they always have 10,000 excuses. He tested positive for a banned substance, ostarine, and they had 10,000 excuses why he tested positive. Now he's saying he can make 140 pounds because he's not drinking and partying like he was before. And this is the real Ryan Garcia. The problem is we never seen the real Ryan Garcia if that's the case, because he couldn't make weight and struggled when he had the rehydration clause against Tank. He has an excuse for everything. Then if he don't have the rehydration clause when he gets knocked out against Tank, is because he has a drinking issue, substance abuse issues, right? So we've never even seen the real Ryan according to them. Then against Rolly, what was the excuse? He had the year off. He was, reformed. He was going in the fight with Rolly. He was healthy. Then he loses to Rolly. And then they say, well, he was injured and he was struggling with other issues in that fight. Now he got this fight coming up next Saturday against Mario Barrios. If he struggles in there, they're going to have excuses again. His whole career is an excuse. So you mean to tell me he couldn't make weight against Devin Haney? People forget that. But he highlighted because he was drinking. He came in 3.5 pounds overweight for the fight at 140. But that's right. Because mentally he wasn't there. He was drinking, right? Okay. But now he's focused. He's locked in. He's dialed in. He's a completely different person. And he can drop back down to 140 and fight Shakur Stevenson. I'm not opposed to it. If he could do it, do it. I'm all for it. If he could do it, do it. Let's see it. Make it happen. But we all know he can't. So then he fights Rolly. He gets dominated, gets dropped in that fight, gets outboxed, gets outclassed, looks ridiculous. He don't have the ostarine. He looks completely different than he was with Devin. No aggression. And because he wasn't focused again. Every time he loses, it's an excuse. This dude hasn't had a win since Oscar Duarte, people. Take that into consideration. And now he's fighting Mario Barrios. Let's see how this unfolds and plays out. So Shakur Stevenson agrees. Now, Shakur said he was a career 135 pounder. But now he's going to campaign at 140. Why? Because the WBC stripped him. Sport is the wild, wild west, man. It's confusing. Shakur says, I'm a 135 pounder, only going up there for the right fight and the right opportunity. I mean, there's big fights for Shakur at 140 then. Fight Raymond Muratalla. You can fight Raymond Muratalla, right? At 135. But now he don't have a belt to unify. So that's kind of pointless. Or Gary Anton Russell. But he got a fight coming up. So it's just the wild, wild west, man. But let me know what y'all think, man. They don't want to fight Devin Haney. Period. They don't want that rematch. Because they rematch Devin Haney, they lose to Devin Haney and get outclassed like he did Brian Norman and outboxes Ryan, and Ryan has no answer for it. It's just going to highlight the ostarine and what took place. And it's going to prove that he cheated. They don't want that fight. He's trying to say it's Bill Haney. Well, Bill Haney don't want the fight now. Ryan wants to fight, Devin wants to fight, but Bill don't want to fight. Bill ain't never said he don't want to fight. Ryan just got to be on the even playing field. But let me know what y'all think, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.